We'll see here.
Well, you won't be in the
I
picture.
can. I can lay down.
I could be a picture.
No, you won't be in the picture, I
Uh,
don't think.
okay, so I remember,
Don't step on the good ones.
well, I just couldn't figure out why we, okay, now, but I do remember you talking about you had to work, and that's the reason we went. Where did we go in Missouri, just the four, us boys?
Just went out there to see something. And I don't know.
Just
See,
drive, you like
see
to
it
drive.
in this motel.
I left you guys, we got the motel in the evening, the first thing you done was go swimming, there was lightning and storming, and had me worried to death. But anyhow, the next day we decided to explore Missouri again, and we drove all day and just made a circle, but come back, everything looked the same that night. Same old town we stayed in the night before. I think we stayed in the same motel.
Did you do that on purpose?
No.
Oh dear, oh Steve,
I really don't know what we were.
Steve always loved to laugh about that. He would just break up. I'm just talking about.
I forgot about it, I guess, I couldn't really remember it.
Mhm.
That wasn't a trip which we went to see, what was it? Back in the 1800s when the gang had robbed the train, you know, and they
Yes, he did.
hidden it, yeah, Jesse James hidden us.
I know.
Yeah, what do you call them? Caravan?
Cave,
Huh?
the caves,
Yeah, cave.
yeah, Carlsbad Caverns.
Yeah.
Now, when was that, was
I
there?
don't know whether that trip was going that year or not.
It's in Missouri.
Yeah, I'm telling you, really.
And we went through Carlsbad Caverns.
How old were you? How old were you?
We can figure it out, Travis had.
See, he was, he was 8 years old when Betty Jane was born. 9, I thought it was 8. So that'd be about the right age.
Okay.
And he was out driving around with yourselves.
Well, we went to the Smokies, I remember that, because you got movies of those, the Smokies.
Well, who all was born by that time?
I don't
Was
know.
Mike Byrne, was he in the Smoky Pictures?
So not the first time.
I don't hardly remember it.
That was in 53 when there was a gas shortage.
Really? What did we do in the Smokies? Just go?
Stop.
Right, stop. Look around and get a place to swim that night.
And then go look at something historical during the day?
Uh-huh.
We stopped and walked. For a little something, and mother left her camera sitting there, and we lost the camera.
Lost it?
Mm-hmm.
Went back and it was gone.
Was it a brownie?
Probably a bear got it.
I remember those bears up there. And when did we go to Washington? When we went to-
Like in 65. That was the year of the storm, but the storm was after. We always went.
We didn't go anyplace
I don't
that
think
year.
we went that year because we always went in August, it seemed like.
I don't hardly remember Washington with you guys.
Well,
Remember we were driving down Pennsylvania Avenue and there was a black guy pulled up alongside of us in a car about like ours, and we saw our license plate and he said, "Where are you from?" We told him, he said, "I'm from Anderson, Indiana." He was a car salesman out there in Washington.
Is that right?
wonder where we got that car. Do
You do
you?
remember that? You know, I may have not went on that trip because I just don't remember that. Did I go on that trip?
Oh, yes. You went with us when we, Dorothy Alice's, when we went
That
to,
wasn't that year though, was it?
it had to be when we went to Washington. We never went east but once.
So back to New York and Canada trip.
Yeah, I forgot about the Canada trip.
You didn't go to Canada?
We went to, I guess-
Mackinac Island.
No, that was a different trip. We went to, Niagara Falls.
I remember Niagara Falls.
Surely that's when we
That
went
was
to
when we,
Canada.
that's when we went to Canada.
Yeah. So we went up to Michigan into Canada and we decided to go around every lake. That's the way we went, all 5 lakes. Then we get on the Queens Highway in Canada and went into New York City.
Yeah. I kinda remember maybe a Manly or something. Don't know whether I remember it or
New
whether.
York City, what, Keith, we went to New York City then, well, then we would go to New York again, cause we went there when we went to Dorothy Alice.
We didn't go to New York twice.
Well, I didn't think so.
And it was the Canada trip we come back to New York.
And then stopped at Dorothy Alice.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember going
I
to
think
Dorothy?
we made a special trip to Dorothy Alice, Connecticut. When everything got into New York, we went to Connecticut.
What year?
But then we went to New York after we come out of Connecticut.
I have to get the old movies out and look at them, see if I can figure them out.
I thought about doing that, and I just haven't got around to doing it.
Well, I just don't remember what year was what for sure, really. But I do kinda remember going to Connecticut now. I don't hardly remember going, I don't remember Dorothy Alice, but.
Well, we went there, but when we got there, why, they fixed bedrooms, sleeping rooms for all of
Did we
us.
go to church with them or something?
Yes, and we went to church.
I can't remember that.
And we must have just stayed overnight, because I remember that they had been to a horse show just before we got there.
Remember they had a real nice house.
And and then we stayed all night. They had a big supper for us. And then we went to church, and then we must have left that evening, because I don't remember any other us staying in wrong.
We wouldn't have left at night. so-
No, in the evening, and we went to a motel toward the direction going home. And so I always put then the New York situation. Well, we wouldn't have gone to New York if it hadn't been that he missed a certain tunnel or a bridge. We got on the wrong,
No.
off the bridge.
That was that Canada trip when we came out of New York. We was trying to get on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, we messed up, we got on New Jersey, and we went to Philadelphia.
I think I remember.
Huh?
I don't know if I remember.
Didn't go downtown Philadelphia, we just skirted the edge of it.
Well, we went to Statue of Liberty and Empire State Building.
In Philadelphia, no, New York.
And we visited,
I don't remember Statue of Liberty going there. I remember when we went up in the Empire State Building.
Oh, sure, we went and saw the Statue of Liberty.
We took a tour, we took a bus tour, went through the Bowery.
That one,
That guy spit on us.
spit ads.
Yeah.
Broke up a football game in the street.
Alright. Is that what they were doing, playing football in the street? But I remember you ended up, you were trying to find a place to park and take a tour. You ended up downtown or Times Square or.
Three blocks from Times Square.
yeah, well, that was funny. I mean, he missed a turn off. We shouldn't have ever got downtown in New York.
Didn't want to.
I know you didn't, but we got on that street, and it kept following the river, and all of a sudden we was downtown New York. And I was tickled to death, because I wanted to go to New York anyhow. And then we wound up took that tour, and that was the best part of our trip, when we took that tour and saw Chinatown and all those old poor people or derelicts out there laying on the street,
I was
right?
gonna get out of there.
And and then that night we went to the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to the theater.
Shirley and I are going to the theater in New
The
York.
RCA. What, isn't that the right
Probably.
building? RCA building. Yeah. And I can't remember anything else, what played or anything.
To Chinatown on the bus trip.
Yeah. But anyhow, by the time evening come and time to go to bed, thinking about a bed, I wanted to put up right there in New York. I wanted to stay right there and sleep in a hotel. No, I'm not staying in this town. And so we got out there and we went back down to where we parked the car, and it was there. And there wasn't anybody else parked around us at all. It was a parking lot when we pulled in. We got in the car and it run, and we turned and got, that's when we went to New Jersey, under the river.
Mr. Road somewhere, you know.
And then we kept driving, and we drove and drove, and all the kids went to sleep, and we was heading for a motel.
Yeah, that got us screwed up till 1990.
Well, you haven't told them anything about being down in Georgia. Where was we in, when we was on that trip to Georgia? Because I talked you into going to see your friend in Georgia. And he worked on the car.
Well, that was Tennessee.
I think you talked about that on another one of these tapes. I think
We
you
lived
did.
in Cleveland, Tennessee.
Well, which trip was that?
That was way back in the early fifties, I think.
Oh.
That was,
That was just you and
it was in
Steve?
the 50s.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Okay, all right, now I'll let that die.
I would love a trip to Georgia on when Mike was down there selling books.
Oh, yes, I remember that. You remember that, Mike? Yeah.
You took him down there, didn't you?
No, he drove a little old
Yeah, that
junky car
Chevy,
down there.
yeah, the Chevy car.
That little Chevy 2 or whatever it was?
How many weeks did you work down there? You was there a month. And I just kept knowing something was wrong. Something's wrong. And all of a sudden, I told Keith, I said, I got 4 days off. You know, like 2 for 1 week and 2 for the next week, and it was together. I'm a-going down there and see them. We got down there and we visited Jack and Betty, and they had us for dinner. Boots, Jack Boots. And then, and Mike come and stayed with us in the motel for that night. But he had to go to a sales meeting the day we was there. And we had to come home then. And we told him to come home. And that's when we headed home, wasn't it? The next week?
Yeah, went back to Nashville and told him I was quitting, and I talked to him staying another week.
Well, I'll tell you what, they ruined you on ever being a salesman, didn't they? Oh, listen, they had him convinced.
Empty chair over there.
Huh?
There's an empty chair.
Oh, there is. You were so convinced that you was a complete failure, wasn't you? If you didn't sell with so much stuff.
We went to Jack and Betty Boots to eat chicken supper.
Mhm.
Just like we're gonna do tonight now.
Okay, now I don't know anymore.
In 65, something I remember about the middle 60s was I remember, your girlfriend's house, that Betsy was Steve's girlfriend, the daughter.
Oh, Miller's?
Miller's. I remember their house down there. I thought that was the prettiest
Oh,
house.
yeah,
You know, I mean, it was a modern house.
Addie and Kenny Miller.
Yeah, had the fireplace and the double room, and remember sledding out behind her house, and Terry Miller, Betsy, Patty and Kenny, yeah,
Yeah.
I remember Miller, so.
And then how we have to be there, just stop by on a trip.
No, I'm talking about there in Mulberry, I'm talking about.
Oh,
there.
and there, on Edge of Mulberry.
I'm talking about Jefferson Blacktop.
Oh, I see.
But in 65, see, I was a junior, do you remember anything about my girlfriends,
Oh, that little,
Becky?
Becky.
Just the year the police chased you all over Franklin.
No, it was the next year, I think.
Might have been the next year.
When he was a senior. I think he was Becky
You might
Moore.
still been in prison.
That's when I parked the car in Becky's driveway and called Mom to come get me.
I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah, the police outran it, or we outran the police, we squealed out of the drive-in theater, or out of the drive-in food, Dog and Suds, I think, and then saw the cops coming. I said, oh, I don't need this, so I took off. And I remember going 60, 80 mile an hour down and hit the T road and turned my lights off and hit it again. And that old cop car just kept gaining on me. And I just finally I squealed around up there around Becky's house and I parked it. We lost him after we turned our lights off. And we parked it in Becky's driveway and we walked up to the house. Me and Harshbarger, one of the Harshbarger twins, was with me. And we went up to her front door and nobody was home. We knocked on the front door, so we started walking around to the back of the house. And just as we walked around back, we saw this cop car going by the house.
And then what did you do?
We dropped to the ground and hid in the grass.
Oh.
Until the cop car went on by. He never did stop, but he came right on past there. I don't know whether, our car was right in the driveway. I don't know whether he recognized it or whether he just
Well, he knew
was
the
driving
family.
around or what.
He knew
Well,
there too.
but if he would have known it was us, he would have got us because he wanted us. And then Harshbarger and I walked all the way from Becky's house clear up to Hook's Drugstore, and that's 2 miles of city sidewalks. And called you from Kroger's or Hook's, and you came and got us.
Well, how come I come to get you?
God, I scared to death.
You don't want to drive the car.
Well, then how do we get the car?
Well, we probably didn't until the next day. It never did get caught.
I don't remember
You
that.
remember that? Oh, yeah, I do.
Well, surely I was asleep when I
Well,
started.
65 was the year Palm Sunday tornado. I saw that funnel form and I saw it go through Boulder.
Yeah, I saw it going through Bowman.
And all the storms of all the rest of summer, there was just those little storm clouds that rolled up and the clouds that didn't roll. That was a bad year for storm.
I remember one time when we took the train to Chicago to look into DeVry Technical Institute.
Yes,
We took Becky
and
with
Becky
us.
went with
Was
us.
that in 65?
Or 66 maybe. And looking for a school, and then I decided we didn't like it, or I didn't like it, or something.
I can remember the porter on the train. He was kind of shocked to see us back in about an hour on the same train as a little,
Is there?
or 2 hours, whatever.
Yeah.
He
Did
said,
you-
"You folks just got here."
Usually they're used to people coming in on a train going to work all day, I guess, coming back, getting on the train, going home. When we
I
go,
told that taxi driver where you want to go, and he wasn't too sure where to go. But it got to the,
it looked like,
Well, I think the thing was you really didn't think you wanted to go to Chicago and live.
I didn't like that. It was downtown in the city.
And then how did we get located at Sam's?
I think, that was in the spring of '66 when I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't think good enough grades to go to college, or I didn't think I wanted to go to college or something. I didn't really think I was prepared, I guess, for college. So we were thinking, what could we do with me, And so we thought Technical Institute. And so we didn't want to do DeVry. So I think I graduated from high school without any plans, I think.
Yeah.
I think we took off and went to Ben Sims at that summer.
That was when,
Well, okay, well, either that or I may have went to Sam's, planned on going to Sam's at
You
high
did.
school graduation. Went there for 6 weeks or so and didn't like it, quit, and then we went to Ben Sims to check on
you
Ben.
hadn't quit when we went to Vincennes
Right.
because you told me your dad had just had his heart attack, remember? And he was in the hospital, and you come home and you said, I don't want to stay there. And that's not why I thought it was. I would like to get started in six. Well, I thought, good Lord, how can I tell him laying there in the hospital with a heart attack? I'm gonna take this kid to Vincennes to try to get him in. Do we have the money to get him in there and do that? I don't know, here. So finally, I took you to Vincennes, but you didn't know it.
No.
Then when I came back, well, I told him, and he didn't act disturbed at all. Huh.
You had the heart attack in '66 then? Was that right? Somebody's saying 65 or 64.
in July.
July '66.
But I remember going to Vincennes, we bought groceries. So John went to the grocery store.
Well, we had to take him back, but you didn't
Yeah.
take him
He
back.
had his car, though.
No, maybe he went by himself.
But I was with you and John went to the grocery store, bought him a whole bunch of groceries.
Well, maybe that was after you got better.
That's what I did with Jason too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's your timer.
That's my timer.
What are we supposed to do with it?
Well, just hold your horses.
Don't see anybody. Coming along pretty good.
Yeah, we can
Good
finish
deal.
up anytime.
Gotta do mashed potatoes
And a salad and
and
tomatoes.
tomatoes. Yeah, just a little bit. Okay, what was I talking about?
Oh, Vincent.
we got the Vincennes, cause you may have bought me groceries there at that, cause I moved into that little, 4th Street house.
We went to a big grocery store. All I remember.
There, cause I moved in on, to the house on 4th Street. And then we, let's see, but I remember, I can't remember that being, I remember Dad having a heart attack during that period, but I just don't remember it being that year that I graduated from high school. I mean, that's the
It
summer.
wasn't the year that you,
Well, if it was '66, it sure was.
okay.
Which one did I have?
July '66 would have been 2 months after I graduated. I would have been living in
2 months,
Indianapolis. That-
2 months after you graduated. Well, that works out all right.
See, that summer, I moved right into Indianapolis that summer and went to Sam's.
I see.
Because
And you was working in
working in that book
books.
factory, book warehouse,
You know.
in the afternoon.
It seemed like Steve and Mike, while I was in the hospital, they pulled weeds out of the beans or something.
Was that helped out on the farm?
Yeah.
And you probably had Cliff work.
Then you Mike, you and Steve, pulled two weeds. I don't think you pulled very many.
Was Cliff there? Cliff,
Yeah, till it got too hot. We probably did till it got too hot.
But, yeah, Cliff, well, he lived in Frankfurt then, but,
was he still working for you?
I don't believe he was then, because, didn't need him.
Well, the neighbors come in and did your combining, didn't they?
No, I done this,
After you had a heart attack? You didn't have a very bad heart attack, did you? Really?
I don't know, I'm pretty darn sick that night. Don't you remember me getting up and
Well, was I
throwing
there?
up and,
I don't think I was there, was I?
broke out with.
Somebody, well, it must have been Steve and Mike was there. Because I was at work.
I don't think I was there.
Well, you was over at Sam's.
I was down in Indianapolis.
When mother come home from work that morning, I was up, but she said I was white as she made me go down.
I called the doctor first, and he said to me, bring me in.
Then he put me in the hospital. Did he say my heart had showed old scars?
I don't remember. Probably
I
not.
know with this guy that I know, John Patterson, he's got real scars on his heart attack center really bad. But anyway,
I killed a car all by myself that fall.
did you really?
Yeah, climb up there and
Oh, no,
I didn't have no help.
there was somebody that did some work for him. Ellsworth B. Sucker did something.
He come and took the combine to Frankfurt after the storm and after repair it and all that was done.
Did Steve or Mike drive a tractor out there to the field for you or somebody?
And it was still, I don't know, I didn't have any help either.
It's kind of hard.
I knew I'd climb up in the top of the crib and move the darn spout around. Gene, I had.
Well, I was out there some, but I didn't know
Well, you
anything.
was okay after you got back home, wasn't you?
Well, he had to rest up for, a doctor wouldn't let him do anything for so many weeks.
I laid in bed for 2 weeks or more and I couldn't walk, my ankle wouldn't bend.
And then he
I
finally,
just shuffled.
he let him go outdoors, and then finally he let him walk around but it was several weeks before,
Did you have hogs then?
No, it's after the storm when we, didn't have any luck. All I had was corned beef.
Corn beans, Florida.
Yeah, that was good.
Hope you didn't go to Florida, huh? We never did go to Florida when we were kids, did we?
I don't think so.
No.
But we took Betty Jane and Roxanne with us.
First time I ever went to Florida is when we all went together.
Was it?
With Kim and the
RV.
RV.
First time I've ever been to
That
Florida.
wasn't too comfortable, if I remember.
No, I thought that was comfortable.
I thought it was
You probably
fun.
was, if you sat there in the back and bounced around like I did for all those miles.
Well, that wasn't bad. I was back there with you.
It just wasn't comfortable for me, that's all it was.
And I thought it was good, but we could sit there and play cards and look out the window,
I know it rained
read.
all the way home.
Yeah, you were a nervous wreck coming home because
Yeah.
it iced and snowed up around southern Indiana.
In fact, there around close to Atlanta was down in Cracker Barrel. Sat there for a while.
Drove home.
Huh?
I drove home, didn't
You and Steve both did.
I didn't remember.
Every time we got up over 60, Dad would start growling.
And then when we was asleep, and I remember one place that we slept in there, and Keith and I slept on a seat that was in that RV. I suppose it was barely the size of a single bed. And Keith and I slept. He'd lay on his side, facing out this way, and I would too. And we'd sleep like that. And then we want to turn, get on his other side, and we both had to turn for us to sleep over. Now that's a particular spot I was sleeping, and that was when my breathing was started up.
Yeah. Because I remember we'd have to slow down for you there in Disney World.
Yeah, well, when we first got there, it was cold, and Mother and I bought a hat.
Oh, yeah.
And it was cold about all the time we
Oh,
was
I
there.
got down to 20 that night. Got down to 20.
Yeah, and we went
Well,
down
it did get over freezing.
We
It
got
get
to
about
that-
32 the whole day. we were there.
Went across that lake after dark to go to that crazy Japanese restaurant, I about froze.
Yeah.
Oh, the Japanese restaurant.
But that was about 82 or 3 when that was, I believe. Probably somewhere right in there.
Seemed like it was 83, but everything can't happen in 83, can't.
Well,
That's when I had surgery, first surgery, or was it 82?
It was 83 or 84.
Yeah.
It was either right before or right after I moved into town.
I think that's right. And
That
that's
was in
84.
84.
You mean the cancer surgeon?
yeah, the first one was 82 and the second one was 84.
Well, she says
I
it's
guess that was
84.
83. That was
Huh?
83.
The first one?
No, when we went to Florida.
Yeah, that's what I think.
83.
Because I couldn't have went in 82.
It was December 83.
That was fun. We should have done that more. It was fun to have everybody together.
There was. Mike and Laura slept up in that top bunk up above the drivers of the RV up there. That was so cute.
Yeah, we tried to pitch tents out there,
Yeah.
and well, I guess we did, but
But Jason and Betty Jane had to come in, and
it
it
got
got
too cold.
cold. They slept
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
all
walkway.
Where we stayed at, all the
Pipes
pipes
froze
froze.
and broke, yeah.
We couldn't get the heater to work, we didn't know how to make it work.
Yeah.
remember?
I think we had trouble getting the RV to work the way we wanted. Well, so, I don't know, through the late 60s, I remember, so in 67, 68, 69, I was down at Vincennes most of the time. What was Mike and Steve doing? Steve was in high school playing
Mike was
basketball.
talking on the telephone to a girl.
Oh,
Oh.
Probably
Huh?
more like 70 or something, probably.
yeah, that was when I was high school.
Junior high school.
We talked about all the girls in junior high.
Well, sometimes I just couldn't stand it because you was talking to this girl all the time.
Talking about listen. So there'd be silence and say, I gotta go. Now wait a minute. We wouldn't say nothing. Just listen to each other breathe or something.
Who was the girl?
Some frank chick. No good frank chick.
That's right. I had her for on vacation, I think, when they were on years, but later on.
She had 3 or 4 kids, didn't she?
Mhm.
Got fat.
No, I don't remember her getting fat. I don't know.
Well, that period, 68, 69, that's when Steve was in his prime of playing basketball, I think, and stuff. Good Prairie. He was in his prime, but Glen Prairie wasn't.
Yeah.
Steve played much, and he was about as good as them players.
Do what?
Steve didn't get to play much, but he's about as good as any they had.
Oh, I thought he played, I thought he started.
No.
He didn't start?
He was probably about 6th or 7th, maybe.
A lot of times it started about the last 10 seconds or something.
That was me.
Make me so mad.
That was me.
You gotta play the last 10 seconds.
Last 24 seconds.
Did you
I was
play,
on the B team.
did you play in high school?
I quit after that. We had went through 6 games. We hadn't won a game yet. We were behind, getting beat by somebody by 20 points the whole game. And then with 24 seconds left, coach puts me in.
Hoping you would bring them out of it.
I ended up bouncing the ball off my foot and going out of bounds.
That was enough,
I think I was hanging up.
That probably embarrassed your parents.
Embarrassment. I'd get real nervous whenever I
Didn't play
didn't
in
get
that.
to play.
Uh-huh.
But I was kind of,
He was a coach.
No.
the coach was McDaniel. He was the one that kicked me in the butt during practice.
Oh, wow.
Kicked me hard.
He said, get with it, Mike, get with it.
He just kicked me and told me to go to showers.
Wow.
You say, what, tell my dad?
Let's see now, I'd probably kick him in the butt. I would.
I never knew anything about that. But let's see, those, while you was talking, I thought of something, and now I can't think of it. Hmm.
Well, I was down at Vincennes. That was my good, fun college years. Enjoyed those. And, see, when did I get married in 1970?
I don't know.
I got married to Terry in 1970, June 6, 1970.
You were asking me that last time.
I was. I did. I guess I did ask you that last night. Yeah, 'cause
You wanna know when
I've got
John-
the papers. and
You
everything.
wanna know when John graduated?
Mhm.
And we had a big wedding down in Vincennes, and that was fun. That was nice. We had, I remember Uncle Bob and Aunt Charlotte and,
Aunt Margaret.
yeah,
Yeah.
everybody coming.
I can remember, Chittick's son.
Really?